quiet all of a sudden.
So,
Hi, welcome to the first Bipolar Heroes podcast and video. I've been procrastinating for the last 4 or 5 years to start speaking out about my bipolar and also to help other people, that are in a similar situation. So this is really just the first step of getting started, so it's not going to be a long video. The key thing is to understand is that having bipolar is not really a disability. It's just that it makes us think differently. It makes us take in information differently, and we live a different life than a lot of people. But I wouldn't want to swap and not be bipolar, because the richness it gives to my life is just incredible. And we can be a bit quirky. We can sometimes be a bit grumpy. We we have our ups and downs, obviously. But at the end of the day, if the downsides are treated well with medication, then the upsides are tremendous. So I just had my birthday just recently, just a few days ago, and my daughter came over from Wellington, and we spent the day together, and she really motivated me because less than a year ago, her and her husband, or at that stage her and her fiance, decided they were going to just change their lives, and they're in their late 20s, and they decided they wanted to go out and become full-time bloggers and help other people do it. Her area of interest is in helping people live a sober life, and she had challenges with alcohol in her own life, and decided to become sober, and has been doing that for the last 3 or 4 years now, and wanted to help other people. And it wasn't dissimilar to my situation with the fact that I had worked through some pretty tough stuff with bipolar. And if you're watching this, if you're either you either have bipolar yourself, or perhaps somebody you love, or your partner has bipolar, then you know what I'm talking about. It can be a very, very difficult condition to live with if it's not treated right. And so anyway, she came over. We spent the day together. It was just fabulous. And she was telling me that what she's doing with her blog, and she just launched a podcast. And now they're living over in Bali. They've decided to move there. They've got a house here, and they're going to be here for a few months over the summer, and then head back to Bali for the 4-hour New Zealand winter. And and it just motivated me to think, well, I've been talking about doing this, and the reason I'm explaining it to you is not simply to say like I'm a procrastinator. It's the fact that that's actually really common with people with bipolar. We perfectionism, trying to get everything right. And so so when she left the other day, I said, right, I'm going to do it the 1st of January 2019. I'm going to start, and I'm going to do my first podcast. And here it is. This is it. So looking forward for this year, one of the things that I want to do is to do. I don't want to spend lots of time talking about war stories, about all the tough stuff that I've been through personally myself. But I might draw on some of that, because from time to time, because it may be useful for you to know that you're not the only one struggling. And the other thing that I'd like to do right up front is just to explain that the people that I'm really talking to are high functioning people with bipolar. So in other words, you may well be holding down a fantastic job. Quite likely you are, if because people with bipolar are often quite intelligent. They're creative. They're quick thinkers. They're problem solvers. And so people with those traits will invariably end up in a senior role in a business or a company or organisation. The problem is, on the downside, is they're not good necessarily with maintaining relationships. And so if you've got bipolar, you know all about blowing relationships out of the water. And so what I want to be able to do is to perhaps help people that are already in that situation, that are doing well, perhaps financially doing well, in terms of some of the normal areas of life that people measure, but are just struggling with some of the challenges of when they go home behind closed doors, how their relationships are happening at home, with their wife and their spouse, how their relationships with their employees, their other colleagues at work, that kind of thing. So that's really where I want to help. So I'm going to be rolling that out over the next few months just to get started, but there's a lot of stuff. If I can give you some key points in this very first recording, is that the number one thing with, let's just start with the list of what they are. The list is, you need to get the medication right, you need to get your lifestyle right in terms of your diet, and your rest and sleeping. So those are the and exercise comes in there as well. So, but the number one thing, is getting the medication right to start with. And I know, like if you're like me, I battled for years, literally years. I resisted being diagnosed and taking medication, and then for years after that. It almost happened every year. We'd go away for our family holiday at Christmas for our, we'd have 2-3 weeks, sometimes 4 weeks away with the family, and that would be my time when I would be trying to wean myself off my medication, and of course I'd end up just being, total horrible person to be around, which was added stress to my kids and my wife and everybody that was around me. And then invariably I'd come back home after a holiday, and which wasn't much of a holiday, and then go back on my meds again. So I think the big firstly there's the resistance to taking medication, but once you get past that and accept that this is just a condition that you've got, you're not going to get healed from it, and then come back off your meds. If you can take your medication and get that sorted. And that'll be a whole subject on its own, getting your medication sorted. So I'll cover that. But once that's the priority, you've got to get that sorted first. And then after that, then you're in a position of more stability. You can handle things better, and you can start looking at your lifestyle things, your diet, you reducing your alcohol, improving your exercising, and all those things. So, but if you're trying to do all those things at once and your medication is still not fully effective, it only makes life just too difficult. It really is hard. So don't be hard on yourself if you are drinking too much, or if you are eating too much, or if you're not exercising. Don't dump on yourself about that. Just get focused on getting the medication sorted first, and then you can look at that. Just put it aside for the moment. That's still probably the first piece of advice I can give after 20 odd years of living with this myself. So anyway, look forward to catching up with you next time, and subscribe, sign up, do whatever the buttons say, wherever they will be on this video, and talk to you next time.
Cozy.
So cozy.
Breeze on your face.
There's a draft in here.
Doors are closed. The windows open. Doors are closed. The windows open.
I feel good. So good.